One of the things that has been on my mind for quite a while, I posted a video on my YouTube channel about, is SEO still worth it? Long story short, yes, SEO is still worth it. We still sell it. We still do it. I still believe in it. But if you didn't watch that video, essentially what I was arguing is that it's not a service that's best for every business anymore. And a large part of what we talk about here in the blueprint is positioning, offer design, really understanding who is on the other end of that. Because a lot of the times what's happening when I see people post is that your service, what you're offering, is not in alignment with what people are hiring you for. And this often gets a lot of friction in our community because people are so married to SEO as a service. And something that I've been screaming about for a while is to stop being romantic about marketing channels, because at the end of the day, people don't care about SEO. Your clients don't care about SEO. You might think that they do because they come to you and they're like, hey, I want SEO. So therefore it supports your thought process, your mentality that SEO is still a very powerful service. And it is. I'm not knocking it. But what I'm saying is that we have to go back and focus on our ICP and give them what they want. And we need to build something based on what's going to get them results. Because at the end of the day, people aren't paying you for SEO. They're paying you for more customers, right? Whether they know it or not, SEO should be resulting in more customers. And just bottom line, why a lot of people that I see struggling here is because they're selling something that isn't helping people make more money. My job here at the Blueprint is to make sure that all of you are making more money. It's not my job to do anything else, but to keep you abreast, to make sure that your companies are making money. That's my job. That's what I see the core vision of what this company is, to make sure that every client, every person that comes in here understands how to make money in the market. That's what I see my job as. And it's the same thing at our agency. My job is to make sure that my clients are making money, period. Getting more customers and getting more customers profitably. And what ends up happening with SEO is, again, it's such a fascinating place to work because the community is so passionate about it that, again, a lot of times we get lost in the sauce and we focus more on the service as opposed to the clients and customers. And what I've seen happening in the market is a massive shift in Google results. I mean, we primarily focus on attorneys. If you would Google attorney near me, what you're going to see is you're going to see local service ads. You're going to see local maps pack. You're going to see organic results. You're going to see content results with little drop downs, what people also ask. There's literally 5 different things that are happening within that search engine. And if you're just focused on selling one of those things, you're just I'm not doing what's best by my clients. So we've, over the past couple of months, have really completely gone back to the drawing board at our agency. We're still selling SEO, but what we've done is we've tacked on paid search and we're creating a new thesis. And this is what I also want to talk to you all about. I've been talking about this stuff before, but what I really want to talk about is creating a thesis for your agency. Because when you combine these things, positioning, offer design, and then having a thesis or some sort of unique value proposition, unique value statement, something that will actually help you stand out in the market on top of your positioning and offer. And that's really formulating a thesis. So I want to give you an example of this. This is our agency's proposal for attorneys. This is something, again, we've really dove headfirst into in terms of our positioning and really our ICP and understanding our ICP. And when I say ICP, that means ideal client profile. So part of that too is, and I talk about this in the training, the program, but like genuinely understanding who is on the other end of that, right? Part of that comes through sales conversations. Part of that comes through working with clients. Part of that comes with all sorts of different experience working in the industry. But off and on for the last 10 years, we've worked with attorneys and I've gotten to know them very well. And I've gotten to know how they communicate, how they think, and really what they want. And that's what this comes down to. So what I've really done is gone back to the drawing board with attorneys. We've had tremendous success for them. We're rebuilding our entire service and offer around attorneys. And one of those things, again, as I was saying, is coming up with this thesis, right? This thesis is our unique communication point, whatever you want to call it. I call it a thesis because it's very similar to, I got my master's degree and they made us come up with a thesis and then basically argue for that thesis for a couple of months. And I see it as the same thing here, right? One of the things when you're entering a market like this with attorneys is that there's a million agencies that do this. It's brutally competitive for agencies just as it is for attorneys. Having conversations with attorneys, what I've found over the years is that they don't care about traffic. They don't care about rankings. They don't even care about leads. What they care about is new cases. And that's really, really important because, again, going through this process and speaking to attorneys, what I found is that they don't have salespeople. So very rarely does a law firm have a salesperson. Why? Because it's kind of like a doctor. They need to diagnose the lead as it comes in. They need to communicate with this person. They need to basically qualify the lead and give them advice. So they kind of have to take all the calls. So they don't want a lot of phone calls because these guys are already busy as shit. They have a million things going on. They can't have their phone ringing nonstop with leads. And this is one of the complaints that they have for agencies is that it's not that they don't get them results. It's that they get them the wrong results, is that they don't listen and that they're focused on just driving call volume as opposed to case volume and case quality, right? So our thesis is rooted in this, right? It goes back to this core idea and this core thesis that you're busy as hell. You don't want traffic. You don't want leads. What you want is a handful of new cases, because one case of these people could be worth hundreds of $1,000,000. Literally, it's crazy. So again, it's not just about the number of leads, it's about case quality. And that's what our core thesis evolves around. So again, going back to what I was talking about before, if I'm just selling SEO, it's really hard to deliver on this promise, right? Knowing exactly this is what they want. And this goes for any client base too. And again, it usually revolves around some sort of acquisition, but knowing the ins and outs of who that ICP is and how to communicate that is absolutely critical. So we came up with this thesis here, and this is what I was talking about, right? When you actually, I don't know if you guys can see, this is difficult, but this search up here says DUI lawyer near me, and then it just points out the 5 different things that are happening in here in search engines, right? So for hypothetically, if we were to just sell them traditional SEO, the only thing that they would really have an opportunity ranking down here is all the way down here, and maybe some of this content marketing stuff here. So this whole thesis that we're pushing now is basically saying this isn't enough. And if you want to really be the top dog attorney, you've got to take over the whole search engine, because that one case that you wanted could be flowing through here. It could be flowing through here. It could be flowing through here. We just don't know. So what we have to do is we have to spread as wide of a net as possible, and then do tremendous amount of testing when it comes to paid search, and then push that into an organic campaign. So we're pitching this whole marriage of paid and organic search. I've been talking about this in Blueprint for years, universal search, blended search. I tell a lot of people to do this in industries that need leads now, kind of like attorneys do. So we put together this whole thesis, right? And it's all about search engine domination. And that's the core of what we're now building off of, right? It's this concept of, we understand what your real problem is. It's not leads, it's lead quality, it's case quality, right? It's you're so damn busy that you don't have time to be on the phone with people. And our main focus is not jamming you with leads and then taking a check from you. It's actually making sure that you're picking up the phone for the right leads. And we're going to handle everything up to that point. And it really is just going back to understanding, again, it's not what we want to do, right? Again, as SEOs, we want to do SEO. We want to go to conferences. We want to fight with people on Twitter about link building. That shit doesn't matter, man. It really doesn't. What matters is your customer getting more money. That's it. And if SEO is not driving towards that, and the way that I can ask you that is I can just ask you, literally, how much money are you making your clients right now? If you can't answer that, at least in the form of leads or in the form of some sort of tangible conversion, then you're probably doing SEO for the wrong people, right? And this is a hard pill for us all to swallow, because again, we're very romantic. We don't want to have to learn something new. We don't want to have to pivot our agency, and you don't have to, right? Again, this pivot here is not a massive pivot. Like I said, we're still doing SEO, but how we're framing it, how we're positioning it, how we're selling it is critical. And I mean, the amount of leads that we're getting now in from outbound sales, the conversations that I'm having with these attorneys now, it's literally night and day from what we were trying to do before, which was trying to jam a service onto them. Because yeah, they had heard about it before, but we weren't overly confident, because they're sitting here telling us what they want. They want new cases, and they only want a handful, right? They're looking for that one big case that'll get them national press. A lot of these attorneys, that's going to make them a couple $100 million. They don't care about these other ones. So we want to build our service and our messaging around that. And just doing SEO, it's not going to put them in the best position to succeed. This also happens to work much better for us, because simultaneously our pitches are now up in the 30K to 40K a month range, right? Just because of all the things that we have to do for this. And all I really had to do was bring a paid search contractor to actually deliver this. And we can talk about that in terms of how do we add services responsibly without having to go out and like do something completely that's on the other side of the brain, right? It's like design or development or something like that. But what I'm trying to communicate here is just going back to who's on the other end and what it takes to make them more money. And that's the same thing that I'm trying to do here with everyone too, is continuously make sure that I'm providing you with everything that I can to make sure that your agency is staying ahead in the game and making more money.